Hey guys, welcome to yet another alluring episode from AutoKonnekt, and on this episode we have borrowed a mid-sized luxury crossover SUV from Caplicity, and the car in question today is the second generation Volvo XC90, and we are going to give you an up-close and candid review of this vehicle because AutoKonnekt is the only car channel that is going to guarantee you an alluring motor vehicle experience. I'll be your host, Eric Wakabi, Eric with a CK. Remember, you can follow me at a personal level on my social media handles, Eric Wakabi on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. My handle is Eric Wakabi, Eric with a CK. Before we get up close and candid with the Volvo XC90, I would like to remind you that even in 2025, our services are even better. We offer services such as sourcing, pre-purchase inspection, and even consultation on motor vehicle affairs. You can reach out to us on the number in the description below. Also, if you want to see the cars that Caplicity have stocked, you can call David. His number is also in the description below. And now, let's get up close and candid with the second generation Volvo XC90. Let's start by taking a walk down memory lane. The Volvo XC90 has been made by Volvo since the year 2002, and the first generation of the XC90 was not eye candy. In fact, it looked boring. However, in 2015, Volvo unveiled the second generation of the XC90 that transformed the boring-looking XC90 into a new, exciting and stylish mid-sized luxury crossover SUV. And this XC90 is built on Volvo's new platform, the Scalable Product Architecture platform. Now, we have seen a chassis that has been redesigned, and the vehicle is wider, it's more spacious, and it even weighs less. Now, this particular model is the T6 inscription. Now, the inscription is a high trim in Volvo's XC90's hierarchy. It's actually close to the most luxurious XC90. However, there is the momentum trim, and there is also the kinetic trim that are slightly lower in terms of luxury as compared to the inscription. Now, this particular one is a T6, and the term T6 is going to come into play when we see what is under the hood. But when it comes to the prima facie, it's a stylish, good-looking vehicle with Volvo's Thor's hammer design on the headlights. Yes, now the daytime running lights form a Thor's hammer, and that is where the design gets its name from. And now let's get to the impressive bit, and that is what is under the hood of the second generation Volvo XC90. The second generation Volvo XC90 is available in petrol, diesel, and a plug-in hybrid. However, what we have today is a T6, and I told you the term T6 will come into play when we pop up the hood. Now, under the hood of this Volvo XC90 T6 is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. Now, if you get the Volvo XC90 T5, it's going to come with a 4-cylinder 2-liter turbocharged engine. But with the T6, you're going to get the same 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, but it's twin-charged, meaning it features a turbocharger and a supercharger. This particular engine will churn out a whopping 320 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. Now, power is transmitted to the wheels through an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and it drives all 4 wheels through a Haldex all-wheel drive system. The side profile of the second generation Volvo XC90 is lower compared to that of the first generation XC90. At the front, it features double wishbone suspension, and on the rear, you get to have an integral link rear axle that also includes a transversely mounted leaf spring. Now, this leaf spring is made of lightweight material because I told you, compared to the first generation XC90, the second generation XC90 has lost some weight and has also improved greatly when it comes to handling. Now, with braking, you get discs at the front and discs at the back. Now, when we shift to the rear, you get a complete redesign of the XC90. And if you have seen the second generation of the XC60, they actually resemble one another. The looks are quite similar, and also it has carried some DNA from the previous generation XC90, although this one is refreshed and it looks even better. Now you have the XC90 badge, the T6 badge that I told you. If it comes with a T6, it means it comes with a 2-liter engine that features a turbocharger and a supercharger. Now this is the inscription trim, as you can see on the badge, and it also features a 5th generation Haldex all-wheel drive system. Now you access the boot through an electric tailgate that is quite convenient. Now with the XC90, you get ample boot space, and the funny thing, or the strange thing about the XC90 is that it can actually seat 7. Yes, we are going to talk more about that once we get to the interior of this car. And the third row of seats can be, retracted electronically. So it's quite convenient. Now, when you have the third row of seats folded, you have ample luggage space. But when you have it up, it means your luggage space is quite limited. Let's check out the interior of the second generation Volvo XC90. The interior of the second generation Volvo XC90 inscription is very impressive. First of all, the wooden finish brings out the luxury aspect of this vehicle. The seats come with adjustable side bolsters and a seat cushion extension. In addition to that, you also get a massage feature on the driver and passenger seat. Now, the second row of seats also has a reclining feature and a sliding feature to ensure that you have enough legroom. Also, on the second row of seats, you also get a child booster cushion that is right at the middle. The third row of seats, well, it's not the most spacious, but the good thing about it is that even the guys seated there, they can still access air conditioning. For the ergonomics, you get a panoramic sunroof. I would like to show you guys how off-road mode works in the Volvo XC90. So you just push this downwards, then flip it to off-road mode. Then since this vehicle runs on air suspension, when you just press off-road mode, the vehicle is raised to the maximum point for maximum ground clearance. Take a look at this. Now, let's talk about the infotainment system, because that is where the excitement of being in the XC90 really begins. The infotainment system of the Volvo XC90 inscription is very well equipped, and let's start with the screen. It features a 9-inch tablet-like screen with a touch function. Now, this screen is what we would call a control console, and it integrates quite a number of things in the car, like the AC system, plus the cameras around the car, and also some other functions and settings as well. Now, the other thing is the steering controls that this car has, and also the digital cluster that you get in the XC90. And this whole thing is marketed as sensors. Now, before we dive deep into the infotainment system and the features that you can control from the screen, let's talk about the sound, because I believe the sound is what really sells the XC90 inscription. For the sound, you get 19 Bowers and Wilkins speakers, and apart from that, you also get a 1400 watt amplifier. And the most exciting thing is actually the subwoofer in this car, because it's an air ventilated subwoofer that is integrated in the vehicle's body. And what that does, it transforms the whole interior space into one big subwoofer. And that is why the sound in the Volvo XC90 inscription is actually to die for. You can, and also you get, from the infotainment system, you get a studio in which you can control the sound. And I'm telling you, just twinkering with the settings of the studio, you get this magical feel of the sound coming from the 19 speakers. And one thing I have to tell you, Bowers and Wilkins actually make very good sound systems. Volvo as a brand is known for safety, and the second generation of the Volvo XC90 is drenched in safety technology. Well, it features Volvo's IntelliSafe system, and Volvo's IntelliSafe system is basically an umbrella of technologies that are aimed towards protecting the driver, the passenger, cyclists, pedestrians, and also other motorists. In the XC90, we have some impressive and innovative safety features that are part of IntelliSafe, and I would like us to go through them. Now, number one is the run off-road package. So how this works is, in case you're driving your Volvo XC90 and you veer off the road, the vehicle is able to detect what is happening, and it's going to tighten the safety belts of both the driver and the passenger, and it's going to make sure that you are protected from spinal injury, even in case of impact. The second feature is what is called the city safety system, and this system basically has an automatic braking mechanism. And how it works is, if you're driving in a busy city like Nairobi and you happen to turn at a busy intersection, when there is an oncoming vehicle, the XC90 is going to brake itself automatically to prevent a collision with the oncoming vehicle. The third feature is the adaptive cruise control in this vehicle, because it's very intelligent. It features an autopilot function, which basically is a semi-autonomous driving technology that enables you to use cruise control in traffic with start and stop functions, and it's also able to brake and also accelerate when you're driving off traffic. The other feature is the cross traffic alert system that alerts you whenever there are objects or other vehicles approaching the car from the sides. Other features in this Volvo XC90 include: 1, memory seats, and 2, the engine start and stop button that is used to turn on or turn off the engine is made of Orrefors crystals. Orrefors is a village in Sweden that basically the economic activity there is glassworks, and that's where they make these Orrefors crystals. You also got an electronic parking brake and an auto hold feature that comes in very handy in traffic. Well, the other thing is that you can switch the driving modes, and the driving modes in this Volvo XC90 include eco mode when you want to save fuel. You have comfort mode for everyday use of highway driving. Then you have an off-road feature that is when you're going through the rough roads. The other thing is you get a dynamic feature, and that is when you want to push the Volvo XC90 to its limits, unleashing all the 320 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. Now, the individual mode is where you can program your own driving mode to suit you. But for now, since we are low on fuel, I'm going to engage the efficient drive. Let's talk about the other features in this infotainment system. You have a 360 camera, and in case I want to access the reverse camera, I'll just press on reverse and I'll have a reverse view. If I want to have the front camera, I'll just press on the front and I'm going to have a front view. And also right here we have the parking assist system. And going back to the 360 camera, in case I want to see what is just below the front fender, I can just activate the left hand camera, which is a blind spot, and I'm able to have a view of the obstacles that are likely to be there. Also, I can include lines Now for the lines, you have to either go back to the reverse camera, engage the lines which guide you on even how you're steering the vehicle. They'll show you the path the vehicle is likely to take, and this lines feature also goes even to the front camera, so you can activate it or deactivate it from the 9-inch touchscreen. Also, you get to access the AC through the 9-inch touchscreen and also the sound system. Now when it comes to the sound system, this is what I was talking about, the studio. And with the studio, you can be able to optimize sound around the vehicle, and it has a variety of modes, and also you can be able to bias the sound system either towards the driver, towards the rear, or even make sure it's equal through all the seats. And also some very interesting sound modes that make the Volvo XC90 a musical theater. The sound quality on this car is simply brilliant. Also with this one, you get these aftermarket screens that are paired with the infotainment system. With the inscription, you also get screens for the guys in the rear row of seats. Let us talk about value for money. If you're buying the second generation Volvo XC90 T6 Inscription Edition from Caplicity, it's going to set you back 7.4 million Kenya shillings. But is it value for money? I find the second generation XC90 to bring together a rare blend of luxury, practicality, off-road capability, and most importantly, uniqueness. This is a car that is going to give you a very mature first impression. A first impression of not a guy who is excited about life and doing some forex shenanigans here and there and trying to show off what they have in life. No. The Volvo XC90 will give you a first impression of a person who is composed and knows what they are doing with life. Competition for this car include the Volkswagen Touareg and also the Audi Q7. Tell us in the comments, what do you think about the second generation Volvo XC90? I think the price discrepancy between this and competition is not much. And you can get cheaper options, especially the lower trims of the XC90 can be cheaper to even as low as 6.9 million Kenya shillings. But the inscription is one of the most luxurious models or trims of the XC90. So I find it to be an appealing variant to actually get. And I feel that I would go for the inscription as opposed to the R design, because the R design, it looks more sporty, and I feel this is a car that should look elegant and not sporty. But I'm not saying the R design is bad. The R design actually looks quite good and it's quite youthful, but this one is more mature. So yes, for 7.4 million Kenya shillings, this is a vehicle I would buy if I had the 7.4 million Kenya shillings. Also, you can get bank financing for this vehicle, and we are going to bring you an episode where we're going to talk about financing options for vehicles, bank financing and hire purchase as well. So we value your feedback. Tell us what you think about this review in the comments, and also remember, we value your feedback. You can tell us what you think about autokonnekt and what you'd like this new year. Also, have we improved on our editing and camera work? Tell us on our social media platforms, autokonnekt on Facebook and also Instagram. Also, you can follow me at a personal level, Eric Okabi, on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok as well. See you next week as we bring you another insightful episode.